Hi guys, before this facts, please consider subscribing and like the video. Thanks. The 1920s were a time of wild prosperity in America. The decade, dubbed the Roaring Twenties, saw a booming economy fueled by new technologies like the automobile and the radio. Factory production was up, jobs were plentiful, and a sense of endless optimism pervaded the nation. Many Americans, even those with limited income, began to invest in the stock market, often buying on credit. They believed that stock prices could only go up, a speculative fever that created an economic bubble. The bubble burst with a terrifying pop. On October 29, 1929, a day now known as Black Tuesday, the stock market collapsed. The value of stocks plummeted, wiping out the savings of millions of Americans overnight. This single event, while not the sole cause, was the spark that ignited the Great Depression. The crash triggered a chain reaction of economic failures. Banks, which had invested their clients' money in the market, began to fail. Panic-stricken customers rushed to withdraw their savings, but with no deposit insurance, their money was often gone. By 1933, more than 9,000 banks had shuttered their doors, taking with them over $2.5 billion in savings. As the banks failed, businesses couldn't get loans and were forced to close. Factories that had once been bustling with activity fell silent. Unemployment skyrocketed, reaching an unprecedented 25% by 1933. This meant 1 in 4 Americans in the workforce was jobless. The nation was plunged into poverty. Millions of people lost their homes and were forced to live in makeshift shantytowns they bitterly called Hoovervilles, named after President Herbert Hoover, whom many blamed for the crisis. The lack of federal relief forced many to depend on soup kitchens and bread lines for their next meal. To make matters worse, a severe drought in the mid-1930s turned the Great Plains into the Dust Bowl, forcing hundreds of thousands of farmers to abandon their land and migrate west in search of a better life. The hope of the 1920s had vanished, replaced by a grim struggle for survival.